Welcome to Parade Ice Garden in Minneapolis for the Section 6 AA Girls Hockey Semifinals. The number 3 seed, the Wayzata Trojans, taking on the number 2 seed, the Blake Bears. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken, and Blake, a dominant program in Class A for so long. They made the move up this year. They're in one of the toughest sections, and they should get tested pretty well tonight by a Wayzata team that tied Blake way back in November.
Yeah, this is a section now in this AA grid that it gets tough. They don't have any easy cakewalks. They did against Minneapolis, but now for the semis here and the championship game, they are definitely going to be challenged. If they win this game, of course, they get Edina. But they're 15-1-1 in their last 17 coming in. They're hot. They're playing really well. Their only loss was to Edina, though. So we'll see how they handle this challenge now.
This Wayzata team certainly has come a long way in a year, under 500 last year. They've played a tough schedule. They've faced, teams like Blake, but other good teams along the way as well, and they feel confident that they can win this game. They know that Blake is super talented, there's no question, but they come in thinking that this is a very winnable game for the Trojans.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We talked to Coach Christopherson a little bit earlier in the season. She felt her kids felt that they have no fear of anybody, even Edina, because they play these all the way through youth and stuff. Then they go and tie Blake. Well, here we go. We can play with the big boys, and they've done very well. They've beaten Eden Prairie. They've done a good job of playing in the lake. Good schedule. They got a very good opportunity tonight. If they play their game and everybody steps up to the plate, especially their goaltender, they got a shot at beating this team.
Talk about key players to look at in today's contest, starting with the Trojans, and it's one of their young guns that's really come through lately. Greta Branton had a big goal in their quarterfinal win over Benilde. We saw her have a fantastic game against Eden Prairie a couple weeks back.
She really stepped up, a little freshman, number 24. Keep your eye on her now. She's got 29 points, but she's a spark plug, and she just seems to find the right moment when they need a lift. There she is. She gets a shorthanded goal, or she makes a forecheck, or she sets up a play. She's just really fun to watch for a freshman. Oh my gosh, she's really good, and it'll be fun to watch her tonight.
Blake, likewise, Zeta has a lot of young talent, but we're going to go with one of the players in their final season of high school hockey. Sarah McClanahan, a big hockey name in Minnesota, and she's a good one. She's headed to Dartmouth.
And that is a name we know, and yes, that is the daughter of. She's had a really good season though this year. She's put up 37 points. She's been a real leader. Got the points when they need to. She's been the steady type, but she's been there too. She's the old vet. She's been to state. She's been through section. She knows all this stuff, and you have to have people like that on your team if you're going to get through. This is not an easy section to get through, and if they want a shot at the AA crown, Sarah's got to step up, and I think she will.
Wayzata looking to score a win here tonight, maybe an upset. Blake, try not to look past this one. Their coach Sean Reed said his team has been very good about not looking past any opponents. There's no doubt a lot of people expect it to be Edina and Blake in the final. Wayzata is trying to have some other ideas on that one, though. Our second semifinal coming your way next year. It's Wayzata and Blake on CCX Sports.
Most of my family, they never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And welcome back here to a familiar spot for some playoff battles over the years. Parade Ice Garden as Wayzata and Blake getting set. Dan, the coaches talked about, especially Wayzata, maybe things being a little bit nervous in that first round game when you're playing here on that Saturday. Now both teams have played on this rink this season too. It's sort of, I think, a lot more comfort, and you just kind of get back to playing your kind of hockey that you played all year after you've been here once.
Yeah, and the first game in section is always the tricky one. That's where just something different about it, and if you're not there, you're not getting into the rhythm, it could be a testy game. They're ready to go here now, so
There's Jessica Christofferson, the Wayzata head coach in her second season, and had a pretty good outlook on this game. You know, she said they've watched the film quite a bit from their meeting earlier in the season, but she feels like both teams are very different. It's amazing how in a couple months' time how things can change a lot within a high school season. And there's a look at Sean Reed, their team, 7 state titles in Class A, 4 of the last 5, but now moving up to AA. And he said, yeah, absolutely, it's the move that we should have made, should make.
Yep.
And you don't always know long term if it's going to always stay this way, but he said we've got a good group in for the next few years, and this is where we belong talent-wise, and a good outlook from him on that too.
He said he brought up 3 7th graders off their JV to be on the section team now, so they're built for growth. And get a look at Stephanie Jarvis here.
Jarvis, yeah.
Had a nice run here. She was in goal when they tied Blake. And 9-5-1 record, 1.70 goals against, and a .930 save percentage. So get a peek at some of the Wayzata fans.
So Garvis, kind of has alternated time with Grace Boswell-Healy, and Garvis gets the call in this one. And at the other end, you see Anna Kriesel. She is one of 5 finalists for Goalie of the Year. And has had an outstanding season. She played, got her 10th shutout in their quarterfinal win. As you said, didn't have too much trouble at all with the Minnehaha United. And a goals against of just over 1.2 for Anna this year. And we are underway here as Wayzata and Blake battle here in the Section 6AA semis into the Trojan zone. Pop back out to center. Now it's Alexa Osseo throwing one on net, and Kriesel with a stick save, and she'll cover it up, so she gets to touch the puck early on in this one.
Oh, that was good, Osseo. They kind of had a little battle in the neutral zone. Wayzata gets it across one, gets a shot right off the bat. Just get it down there and get a shot on her and see what happens.
Bears looking to break it out and do so here. Maddie Tix, and then it's knocked into the Wayzata zone, popped high in the air there, coming off the stick of Audrey Wethington. And here's an opportunity now. Wethington trying to make the return pass to Addie Burton. Then fresh off the bench, a quick shot, and Garvis making the stop there as Lily Delianitas able to step onto the ice and quickly get a shot away from the circle here.
You can see how much is stacked in front of the net here. How good to go. A little chop there on the goalie. Well, it's getting a little testy to start out with.
Delianitas, a turnaround try there. Garvis making the stop for the Trojans. Battle for it along the wall, and the Trojans able to get to it, but then a takeaway here. Delianitas picks it up at the blue line, carries it in deep here for the Bears. Puts it out front. Here's a chance, and that one hacked up over the top of the net. Audrey Wethington getting a pretty good opportunity there for the Bears. Actually make that Izzy Daniel, the 6 and the 8. Looking the same when there was bunched up on their back there.
Both teams here, they both were known as high-scoring powers, but tremendous defense. Both of them have a .929 save percentage throughout the season here, Jay, in every game. Blake actually only allows the opponents 18 shots a game.
That's your first try blocked, and then the second one didn't get much on it. Anna Laugen getting an opportunity there for Wayzata as their third line comes out. Just onside on the rush there. A little backhand pass flipped out front. Whoa, Garvis has to make a stop, and then it pops loose. And a second follow-up try blocked, but the Bears get it right back. Out high to the point. Swing it across, and the slapper there wide from Grace Voida. Bears wanting to make a change here. Now they do get it in deep. Maddie Tixon on the forecheck here, trying to create some havoc. And now they do free it up. Here's an opportunity going to the front, and Garvis, a stick save. Addie Burton, the sophomore, had all kinds of time. Blake able to force a turnover, and she just came in And Garvis had
Nice
to make
move.
a stop at close range here.
Nice move, some patience there, but Garvis stayed right on it, centered on it. Wasn't letting her get a good opening here, and she only went for the only spot she could, but that leg and stick pad got out there.
Shot attempt there was blocked. Now flipped out to center where Audrey Wethington passing it back. Bang to the Wayzata blue line there. Osseo trying to get it into the Bear zone but couldn't do so. Addie Hackley up with it for the Trojans. Now over to Sophie Urban, who had one of their goals on Saturday against Benilde. Coach Christofferson said she actually was glad that they got tested more than having, a blowout in that quarterfinal. Felt it was good for them. Pass back, and then it trickles in front. Boy, there was a wide open cage. But getting to it first was Megan Marshall for Wayzata. Now an icing call against the Trojans, and we will come back into the Wayzata zone. Boy, Blake is buzzing early here, Dan. They've had some opportunities already.
All right, it's a team that averages 5 goals a game. They got a little bit of offensive know-how here. You see an opportunity there, and then the icing. And all of a sudden, there's enough pressure in your zone. You start seeing those icings, you're getting tired.
Branton trying to beat the D here. Went down briefly, no call. It's playoff time. Probably going to be, let things go a little bit more, you would think, than you might see during the regular season. Not saying that should have been a penalty, but just in general.
It's got to be blatant. Got to be blatant. That might have been a call there.
Yeah, just as we talk about it. Now that one was because it forced a turnover too, and that's another thing that you kind of have to keep an eye on. So Sloan Matthews is going to go here, and that will be a tripping call right there.
Well, the 8th grader getting her stick out there a little bit on the skates and bringing down the Blake player, giving Blake the power play. And they have been tremendous this year, 28%, and that's a tremendous power play. 19 goals on 67 power plays. But I seem to recall Wayzata had a short-handed goal in their first game.
Back out to the point here. Swinging across, and Addie Wethington throwing it down low. And that one banked out of the zone, and Wethington chasing it down here with Osseo pursuing her. So the Bears have looked pretty solid early on. Have missed a couple of chances, and we'll see what they can do with the power play here. Delianitas puts the brakes on, leaves it for McClanahan, and then the return, and throws that one on net. Garvis ready for it and popped out of there. Kind of disguised that one. It was more to look for a rebound or catch her off guard. Addie Wethington circling back. Will drop it over to Audrey Wethington. Carries it on in. Both Wethingtons, University of Minnesota bound. Pass coming behind the net, and a nice job to get to it here by Branton, and she is going to bank it out. Solid job to stop it at center, though, by Sarah Chute. And then the Trojans' next opportunity is good enough to get it down the rink. Boyda back to pick it up here for the Bears. A little over a half minute to go on the power play for Blake. Haven't really gotten much set up so far.
Well, they've gotten it set up, but they've had one attempt or maybe something in the corner, and then Trojans have been persistent. They've gotten it and gotten out of the zone. Really good penalty kill.
Spinning away there, Audrey Wethington. And then knocked loose there by Wayzata's Wisniewski, and then it pops into the penalty box where Matthews is eagerly awaiting her chance to get out. 9 seconds to go in the power play here. Kylie Gage out to take the draw here. Seemed to control that one, but Megan Marshall got to it for Wayzata. Now Wisniewski able to roll it out on the dasher there. Matthews is out of the box. Wayzata's killed off the first penalty of the game. And we're going to have a penalty the other way against Blake as Hackley was hauled down. It's going to be a hook. And so now the Trojans will go on the power play there as Madeline Wethington right there. Yep, got the stick in. Good spot there by the official. It didn't look like a lot, but it was enough to turn her and bring her off balance.
Well, the referee on the far side of the rink called it. He had a good angle on it. So now we're going to get a chance to see Wayzata's power play. They had a real nice penalty kill here, Jay. They did a real good job. Not a lot of pressure.
Bears knock it down the rink. The race is on. Garvis jabs it away to the corner, but picked up by Delianitis. Puts it out front. Oh, and a pad save there. Short-handed chance for the Bears. Hammered right back in as Izzy Daniel was racing down, and Delianitis got her the puck. And now this pass to center is picked off. Little edge in team speed for Blake. I think that's fairly evident here in this first period so far.
Very, very aggressive penalty kill. But it's worked out really good to the tune of a 93% penalty kill for the Blake Bears.
Well, and I like that way of doing things. And, you know, if you're an opponent is able to make that be a bad idea to be aggressive, that's one thing. Then you change it up. But until they prove that they, need to, I think you're best to use your skating ability and really get after them.
Absolutely. Stop it before it starts.
Maddie McCollums leading the power play rush here for Wayzata up the right wing. She'll circle in behind as they get things set up. Nice pass down low. Branton putting it out front. It was off a skate. They never really got a shot attempt. And now Mackenzie Schindler sending it down toward Branton in the corner, but intercepted. And the Bears will come out of there shorthanded. Delianitis dropping the pass back. Here's a shot that whistles wide and a big rebound off the lively end boards. And Garvis was nearly caught off guard by how far that one popped out. Now here comes Branton. Oh, and a pass hit a skate as Sydney Remark was cruising down the slot. Bears got caught off ice just a little bit there and nearly were made to pay. Now flicked on in, and the penalty time is over. Blake, like Wayzata, not too much difficulty killing off their first penalty. And there's a giveaway at center and flipped into the Bears zone. Back to get it is Kira, excuse me. And looking for the return pass up the right side here, Audrey Wethington. And look for the tip out front. And another try at it there, went off the heel of the stick as the defenseman got there just in time. Work to the front, but that one goes all the way through, and it was no icing there, obviously, as Blake made the pass attempt. Maddie Wethington sending it out to center. Burton digging it free, and a nice pass to Maddie Tix. Her shot, stick save Garvis. Bears finishing up a change, and now the pass getting ahead to Urban. Urban carrying it into the Blake zone. Possessed it long enough for her line mates to finish the change there. Now able to win the puck back there was Osseo. Urban putting it out front and chipped up high over the top. And it will be last touched by Osseo, so it's coming outside the zone on the faceoff. Good idea on the give and go there, but Blake reacted well also.
The big difference right now, Jay, we're both seeing it is the team speed that Blake has over Wayzata. They're just a step or two quicker rolling out the puck, especially in an open skate race.
And after conferring, they're saying that the Blake defenseman got a piece of that puck as well, so the faceoff comes back inside the zone.
Yeah, it's always the defense's fault, always.
And it is funny how that's going to be an icing call here against the Bears. It's funny how, different spot where you are on the ice, it can look a lot different too. So good job by the officials to get together and confer. And if one saw it better than the other, then that's the one that you got to go with.
Yeah.
Shoot. Pass intercepted, and it comes free in the circle, but the Bears able to get it right back. Izzy Daniel, nice move. Oh, the stick chopped out of her hand, and no penalty there as she just lost it. And the Trojans will end up icing the puck right here. Some of the Blake fans looking around saying, how did that stick pop out of her hand? But it didn't appear to be really enough contact. I don't know.
Be interested to see this. kind of lost control of it, really, just on the move. I think it might have rubbed off the skate of the D.
Yeah, I think the stick was used to lift it, but I don't know. I'm okay with that not being a penalty. I know a lot of times it is, but you don't reward a player for not having their stick gripped tight enough. You know, I mean, really,
exactly.
they were just playing playing the stick. I didn't feel it was a slash. Pass across to Branton up the left wing here for Wayzata. Off a skate, Branton gets it back. And tried to set up Matthews out front, but just couldn't get her stick free. Now Branton trying to shoot that one. It's denied, and it comes back out to center. So Wayzata will have to clear the zone here. As back to get it is Madeline Wethington for the Bears. Banking it long ahead there for Audrey Wethington, and she falls hard. Trojans able to chip it ahead. Branton, 1 against 2, and that did not work out as Burton came back nicely on the back check. Wayzata's gotten caught on kind of slow changes quite a bit too. You're seeing, here's an opportunity for the Bears. You're seeing quite a few times where it looks like, well, maybe they've got a little bit of a rush, but then nobody's there yet to help. And looking for the deflection out front. That one really handcuffed Garvis, and I can see why.
Yep.
But able to make the stop. There's a nice pass ahead, and then it bounces free over to Greenshields. Ashley Greenshields had it knocked away to the corners. Wayzata's third line out. Gage reverses it back the other way here for the Bears. 5:40 to go, first period. No score on the board. Blake's had the better of it for sure, but 0-0 on the board still.
Oh, we're seeing third lines being played here. That's going to be important. The energy level is going to have to stay high, and you want to keep your top 2 lines rested.
And Coach Christofferson said, you know, they probably have more high-end talent than we do, but we feel like we might be a little bit deeper than them. So that's a chance for that to show up. Banked ahead. Here's a chance, and that one's sailing just wide. I always feel like the type of game and how you make the changes and stuff affects that too, though. You can get by mainly playing 2 lines if things are managed well, and they're not always playing on the special teams and things too.
Yeah.
And Wisniewski trying to get a shot away, but taken from her, and here come the Bears. Leonidas pass to an open wing there, and they'll flick it ahead to the blue line. Megan Marshall knocking it down and goes across to Annika Swanson. Now Wisniewski, that one hits the linesman on the way in, but Branton frees it up. Branton going to the front, and Kriesel a poke check just when Branton was going to unleash a backhander. Kriesel calmly put that goal stick out and just knocked it away with ease.
Well, Branton, as we recall, has been the difference in this game for the Trojans, but she's about the only one that's really put any punch in there and stuck her nose in there.
Puck intercepted there by Audrey Wethington. She'll drop it back to the point. Try to get a little give and go. Branton got a piece of that. And the Bears get to it though again. Audrey Wethington. Now flick to the front. Oh, and Garvis makes a save there as Burton got a shot away just as she was falling. And now it'll come all the way down. Kriesel handling that bouncing puck. Nice pass there ahead onto the tape of Gage. Gage leaving it. It was chopped away though. Now Matthews. Chloe Fallon will dump it in for the Trojans. And nearly a takeaway there. They're able to free it up briefly, but then picked up again by Madeline Wethington for Blake. Here's Gage. Her shot knocked down and flipped right back out. And you see Wayzata doing that. Obviously not a bad idea against a high-skill team like Blake. Not going to take chances. They're going to get the puck out of the zone when they can. And that puck hit somebody in the bench, it looked like, so a whistle to stop play with 2:56 to go in period number 1. Blake and Wayzata tied up at 0-0.
They get an opportunity here to see that chance coming down, a backhander coming through, and all of a sudden Blake player's all by herself in front basically and got a good opportunity.
Oh boy, there was an open net there, and the shot put right into the goaltender Garvis. Now Urban trying to break free. And not able to do so. Osseo picks it up. Puts it out front. Here's a chance. Ooh, and a blocker save. And a nice one there by Kriesel. And then jabbed aside as the shot from Addie Hackley out high in the offensive zone there. So the Trojans getting maybe one of their best opportunities right there. But Kriesel punched it out with the blocker.
Well, Wayzata here being sneaky, all of a sudden mounting a little bit of pressure there. They're scoring over 3.5 goals a game, so they've got some potency too. It just hasn't really shown. But again, that's kind of their style of play too, Jay, where you see them dumping it over the blue line from their defensive zone. They'll find their moments, but they're going to take care of the defensive end first.
Well, and they're kind of hoping that, odds are they're not going to get as many offensive chances as Blake. They know that coming into the game.
Right,
but,
absolutely.
But can you capitalize on a couple and go from there? Here's Burton to the net. Shooting. Boy, there was all kinds of traffic in front. Now the long breakout pass a little too far from Matthews. And then passed across ice by Audrey Wethington. Tipped into the Wayzata zone. 1:50 to play in this first period. It's been a quick period, one penalty each. Here's a shot tipped over the net. They try and send it out front again. Now picked up again here by Blake's Burton. And they look for the tip alongside the net that time as Audrey Wethington was cruising next to the net. Jabbed away here. Bears out shooting the Trojans 13-3. But again, we stay at 0-0. Long pass ahead to Matthews. Matthews will dump it on in. Branton trying to free that one out, but nobody really there to help. Just one forechecker in deep. Now pass ahead to Osseo. Under a minute to go now in this opening period. And there's an interception by Osseo. Turns and fires, and Kriesel knocks that one aside. Then a long one tossed in, and Kriesel able to cover that one up and force a face-off here. So, it isn't terribly unusual in a playoff game sometimes to see one team get a lot of chances, the other one not get that many, but one of them
slips in.
Goes in.
Yeah. Kriesel's been rock steady, though. She's had a number of games like that this year where they've been pretty much ahead. She has seen a lot of action, and I think the last time they played, they outshot Wayzata 38-22, I think it was the final number of shots on goal on Kriesel.
Ooh, a nice move there, but then it slipped off the stick of Delianitas there for the Bears. And she's able to knock that breakout pass down. Picks it up again. Quick shot, Garvis, a stop, and a tough one it was. Wayzata has had too many turnovers deep in their own zone for their liking in this first period, and they're lucky it hasn't cost them yet.
Well, Garvis is playing tremendous in net for him, though, Jay. She's doing what she has to do. She has to play on top of her head if they're going to have a chance to beat the Blake Bears.
Under 10 to play in this first period. Looks like we might get through the first frame scoreless here. And that pass doesn't connect, and we reach zeros on the board. Our score after one, Wayzata nothing and Blake nothing. We'll have first period highlights and then our second period of hockey here on CCX Sports.
They said a bottle was just a bottle. That no one would ever notice me. But I knew I could be more. That one day, I would make people smile.
And welcome back here to Parade Ice Garden. After one period, Wayzata and Blake tied 0-0. Pretty dominant first period for the Bears. We'll see on our highlights. They generated a fair amount of chances and pretty good ones. That one deflected just wide in the early going. And then Burton passing it across, and the quick shot there that hits a skate, and they just couldn't quite get a stick down. Delianitas then that was one of Garvis's best saves right there. And this one a little bit of a flutter puck that she was able to knock aside as well. Wayzata didn't get a lot of chances. Here's one that the pass was just a touch behind and into the skate of Matthews, or that one might have been a goal. And then a great poke check here by Kriesel as Branton tried to drag it out front to the backhand. Another good chance here for the Bears. Almost hammered right between the pads there by Burton as she was falling in front. And then one of Wayzata's best chances right here is Osseo will bring it back to Hackley. And a nice blocker save there made by Kriesel. And then they're able to clear it. You see the shots heavily in favor of the Bears through one. Scoring chances as well. Each team took one penalty, and the penalty kill was fairly easy for both of the teams. They really weren't threatened a lot on the opponent's power play. So Wayzata doing what they need to do to hang in, although Blake has pretty much dominated this first period. We'll see what is in store for period 2 coming your way next here on CCX.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
We get set for period number 2 here. The winner gets Edina in the Section 6 championship on Friday night. Wayzata nothing and Blake nothing. And Dan, your thoughts on what each team needs to do heading into period 2 to get things going their way?
Well, Wayzata, they got to get some jump. I mean, it looked like they were a little bit in slow motion. Blake was out skating them. They need to find an extra gear. Blake, score.
Yeah, finish their chances, I think, is really,
yeah.
I don't think there's much else you would change about the way they've played. Banked ahead here, and Swanson knocking it back. Osseo gets a piece of it to knock it back into the Blake zone here. Willoughby back to play it there for the Bears. And then Osseo got a piece of that as they tried to reverse it. Swanson floating it back in front. It pops over the net. Hammered out. Swanson stops it at center ice. And a battle for it there right in front of one of the penalty boxes. And Branton saw an opportunity, almost came and took that puck away.
I'm going to predict something's going to happen with her. They're going to need her to step up, and she will.
Branton intercepting it here. Try to get it to Matthews. And then Hackley throws it at the net. Whoa! And Kriesel, I think, thought her defenseman was going to play that. She let it go through, and it almost snuck through. Now a 2-on-1 chance for the Bears, and the shot by Sarah McClanahan goes wide of the mark. And the Trojans unable to get it out. Boy, they looked like they thought they were on their way out and almost left the puck behind.
Oh, there we go again. To Sarah McClanahan, hit the net with that. You got a person crash the net, and they just, I know you're trying to find the corner, but sometimes make the smart play.
And offside there as Boyda brought that puck in with a teammate still one stride inside the Wayzata zone, so we bring it outside the blue line here for the faceoff. Always kind of funny, Dan, when I think about, you think of all the success that Wayzata has in sports, to think of them as like the big underdog is kind of hard sometimes, but I'd say no doubt they are in this game.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking at a power. I mean, when my daughter was playing high school hockey, Blake was really good in girls hockey. So
tipped high in the air here. And we were talking with Coach Reed, and he said really the regular season wasn't much different of a schedule than what they normally had. It's just obviously at playoff time now you've got to get through this tough section. And not only did they move to AA, but they were placed in the section with Edina. It happens to be number 1 and 2 in the state, and I know a lot of people, kind of gripe about that or whatever, but I think the way the sections are set up is fine with me. You gotta win to get there.
Absolutely. And if you're going to win a state championship, you're going to have to beat the team sooner or later. So the thing is both these teams play all these other teams. You know, they're familiar with it, and it doesn't matter if you're in the conference or in the section with them. You're playing with them, so it's not a big. And Wayzata's, you know, they're hanging in there. It's a 0-0 score. I mean, they're being a little dominated, but they haven't given up a goal yet.
Off the draw, Bears come up with it. Pass swung around, and Garvis a pad save there on Madeline Wethington. Trojans get it out of the zone, so Blake has to regroup and go again here. Ooh, Delianitas falls down hard. And now Wayzata back the other way with Osseo. Chips it toward the corner. Urban hustling after it. Addie Burton gets there first for the Bears. Now to Tix. Tix will carry it up the middle, drops it over to Audrey Wethington. Waiting, shoots, and that one went off a defender's shin pad and took a crazy bounce there. Almost snuck by Garvis, but it went wide of the net. Bears fans grumbling, wanted a penalty there as Hackley got into the forward pretty good there.
Well, there's a little acting going on there too.
Thrown to the front, and that one tipped over the net. Garvis looked like she briefly lost control of her goal stick there, but got it back in a hurry. Hackley trying to get it out.
I'm sensing trouble here, Jay. It's getting to be a little too long in the Wayzata zone.
Pass ahead to Sophie Urban, and she will throw it on in as they relieve the pressure a little bit. Kriesel. Although I think in some ways, at least so far in this second period, Blake hasn't, you know, generated any really grade A chances like they had quite a few of in the first.
Well, but time in the zone, you start wearing the legs out of the Trojans because they're playing so much defense, and it's harder to play defense than it is offense.
Knocked away from Delianitas. Branton picks it up here for Wayzata. 3-on-3 rush this time. Branton out wide, throws it to the front, but really nobody there in a position to get to it in a gold uniform. And now a chance for a 2-on-2 here for Blake. Here's a shot that sails wide of the mark. And the long pass, Branton trying to gain control, but Bailey Abraham there picked it up. A couple players go down there. It hit Matthews as she was sliding on her back. Now Abraham carries it in for Blake. Abraham throwing it to the front. It goes off a defenseman, then right to another forward of Blake. Madeline Wethington, actually, it was cruising through the slot. Boy, this one couldn't have set up any better as a pass.
Oh my gosh. Maddie Wethington's going to be just seeing that one in her sleep all day. Great save by Garvis, but man, had her dead to rights.
Boy, and Marshall thought she was doing the right thing clearing the puck, but actually cleared it right to Wethington. And a giveaway there nearly. Wayzata, a couple in a row. There's a shot and goal. Well, we said eventually those are going to catch up to them, and they had the turnover. And the Bears get on the scoreboard first as it was pumped home by Audrey Wethington. Under the crossbar and in, it's 1-0 Bears.
You see it coming up right here. Just gave her an opportunity. Short side high. Took it to the blocker's side. Stayed away from that glove, but just set up perfectly. A little bit of a screener maybe, but just rifled it and sniped it. Audrey Wethington gets the Bears on the board. Happy sophomore there. You know, Jay, there's only one good thing that comes from turnovers. I lied. There's nothing that comes good from any turnovers. Oh my gosh.
It'll be her 12th of the year unassisted goal after the Wayzata turnover. So Blake finally breaks through and gets on the board, a 1-0 lead for the Bears.
Bears are shooting Wayzata 18-6 right now.
Osseo trying to drag it around, and Madeline Wethington blocking that one. Pass ahead to Izzy Daniel, but a nice job by Hackley to take it away at center ice. Her shot, though, off a skate. Matthews getting to it. Maddie McCollins playing it behind the net. They try to throw it out front, but intercepted. And now played to center where McCollins picks it off, throws it back into the Blake zone. It's knocked down there by Willoughby. And here's Daniel chasing it down. Daniel to the net. And big pile up as Marshall got there to help break that up. And then Garvis goes down, and Garvis might be hurt.
We'll see.
See Daniel driving to the net. Nice play by the defenseman. Ooh, and then Daniel came up high.
Hip came right up into the face mask.
But she was definitely shoved by the defenseman too.
Yep.
So we're not going to see a penalty either way on this one, it looks like. And nor should there be, I guess.
Megan Marshall, the D on that one. Daniel getting a free break out there. I'll tell you, just that it bounced just right off the plexiglass on the side of the rink, and she came rolling in, and you know she can fly. She's their second leading scorer in this team, and yeah, wow. Oh, had the back of her head hit the post.
Yeah, it was a combination because, like you said earlier, the hip really hit her on the side of the head pretty hard too, and then the back isn't protected obviously quite as much as with that mask on the front and top of her head. So. Have a long talk here with to make sure that she's okay, and obviously it's an important position too. I mean, it's tough to have to make a goaltending change at this point in the game, but if you need to, you need to.
All the things you see, why would you want to be a goaltender? I mean, oh my gosh, you get pucks thrown at you and all that, and all of a sudden these things happen, and inadvertent too. I mean, that wasn't goaltender interference or anything, and just wow. Good for her.
Garvis has helped up, but I don't think she's going to continue. She's going to be helped off, and Grace Boswell-Healy will get the nod here. So Garvis makes her way off. I guess if there is any, silver lining or good news for it, well, two things. One, that she was able to walk off herself, but the other two being that Grace did play Saturday and has played nearly as much this year as Garvis, so she's not, a total rookie coming in anyway, and as a senior, has to be ready right away here. No warm-up. That's something that changed years ago. You don't get to warm up a backup goaltender when they come in during the period like this.
But she's got a 1.63 GAA and a .912 save percentage, so she's not too much farther off.
No, she played well the second half of the season too. We saw her against Eden Prairie, played very well.
Oh yeah. Shut them down big time.
Here's Maddie McCollins. Pops away from Branton. Able to track it down though.
Boy, the other thing I'm noticing too, Jay, Blake is real good at the little things. Just a little stick check, just a little reach, just a little get in the way. And it makes all the difference in the world for him.
Here comes Branton carrying it in, and her shot is blocked. Willoughby getting in front of that one. Branton gets back to it. Now comes free. A pass out front was blocked. Here is a shot from Hackley that never made it through the bodies, and she'll have to go back and get it at center. Branton up with it again. She needs to get off on a change here, and we'll dump it in. And they get it out on the second try here. Pass out front. Oh, and it's up in the air as Boswell-Healy got a piece of that one. On the attempt from Delianides. And now it'll come all the way in. Kriesel makes the stop and covers this one. As you get another look at this Blake chance. Yeah, just got a piece of that, and then it was popped up in the air. And fortunately for Wayzata, nobody from Blake was close enough to get a stick on it.
That's enough to make the coaches lose a heartbeat or two, though, if looking at it from the Wayzata bench.
Well, and obviously not a real super easy one to start with for your first save of the game either, as Boswell-Healy coming in. Now Izzy Daniel beaten to it, but gets some help following up. Centering pass there, and that one goes through everyone. McClanahan back to pick it up. And then a takeaway here by Wisniewski. Delianides playing it around the D and goes to get it herself in the corner. She's been everywhere tonight. Good skater.
Called her name a lot. She's a sophomore, third leading scorer in the team.
Flipped out front, but that one broken up. Sarah Dahlen leading it out for Wayzata, but then the Bears stop it at the blue line and chip it right back in. A little over 8 minutes to go in the second period. Blake leading 1-0 here. Section 6AA semifinal girls hockey on CCX Sports. Chloe Fallon throwing it in deep and goes after it herself. And then the pass intercepted. Squirted free, but the Bears get it. Grace Johnson. There's a save by Boswell Healy there.
Screen shot went right through the D's legs.
And flipped in here by Laugen as both teams had their third lines out matched against each other there. Madeline Wethington whipping it back across to Willoughby. Takes a crazy carom there and the race on. And you see great effort by both players there going for that one all out. Madeline Wethington swings it over now and Tix throws it in. Been a little bit different period. Not as many good chances, I don't think, in the second period as there were in the first, but Blake is still certainly had the better of things. Branton had her stick lifted, but a follow-up opportunity. And another sliding block by Madeline Wethington. And then another try there, but that one was blocked too as Branton took a swipe at it. So Kriesel's pretty good on her own, but she's also getting some good help from her D.
Well, Maddie Wethington's been playing really well on D back there and just controlling things big time.
Burton working her way in deep with the puck and looking, and then her pass sails up over everyone. That one knocked down before it could get to the net and then tipped out by the Trojans here. Chute will come back to play it here with the Trojans finishing a change. And this will be offside against Blake as Swanson was able to do enough to kind of break that one up and break up their flow, and the winger on the other side was in too early. So Blake has had the better of things all night, leading it 1-0. They got to feel a little bit better that at least they got that one through, but obviously still a very tense game and kind of looking like it might stay that way all throughout, which you expect when you get to the section semifinals.
It's a lot easier playing, though, when you have one more than they got. You know what I mean? And the other part of this, too, is Blake, I don't even think I remember any odd man rushes at all by Wayzata. There's always been somebody back, or a back checker has come back and got on the puck carrier right away. But just that speed for Blake is really being the difference here.
Well, yeah, you're right. And you always think, first about speed, how does that affect you offensively? But it really has helped them defensively, too. They can really skate.
Mm-hmm.
Delineatus putting it out front, and that one broken up. Urban.
I got caught right there.
Well, and you're seeing Wayzata, too, that they're having to drop back their forwards to play D so much that when they create a turnover, it's usually the players all by themselves.
Yep.
Here come the Bears on the rush here. McClanahan stays with it now and hits the pipe. Then the rebound was headed toward the net, but it was blocked by the D as Boswell Healy was out of the net and had lost her stick. The first shot hit the pipe, and the next one with a pretty much open net was headed that way, but Wayzata able to get to it. Madeline Wethington in, fires off the tip of Boswell Healy's glove there. Wayzata able to come up with it now. Swanson leading the rush for the Trojans. Swanson lugging it in deep. Now floating it out front, and they couldn't quite get a shot initially anyway, but now a try. Kriesel to stop on Sarah Dahlen. And then the next opportunity bounces wide.
Oops.
And the pass taken away there, and here comes Blake. Grace Johnson, and her shot blocked. It didn't wait as long as she maybe could have there because Gage was the trailer and really popped wide open, but by that time she'd already shot the puck. Played down to the corner. Tix getting the return pass with the backhand there, but that one was blocked. Burton trying to dig it free again for the Bears. Kept in. And the pass goes off a skate and just chipped to center by Laugen. Bears get it right back in as Audrey Wethington slams it in behind the net. 3:40 to go in the second. 1-0 Blake. Now Hackley, the interception for Wayzata, looks to Sloan Matthews. And Matthews trying to get around the D, couldn't do it, but she almost freed that puck back up and now does. But Chute will get there for Blake. Now Burton sliding it across on the left side, thrown to the front. It's off Hackley's glove. It's bouncing around a little bit, but Blake was changing. So they didn't put a lot of pressure on after that one. Flipped on in by McCollins for Wayzata. Back out to the point, a long shot there, and it made it through, and Kriesel a stick save on that one.
Kriesel deflected that just beautifully off into the corner. There was a Trojan out front waiting for a rebound, and she's done that exceptionally well tonight too.
Well, and she does a good job. You talked about it earlier. She does a good job. There's a penalty call coming up against Blake.
Yep.
Wayzata fans were begging for it, and the closest official did not see, but the official over here on this side said, yeah, that's got to be a hook. Sarah McClanahan will go for hooking. And Wayzata will get its second power play of the night. First penalty here in the second period on either team, as there you see she got the hook in.
Okay. Put her hands up. Me? Oh my gosh. I was just playing hard, really. It'd be really, really important for Wayzata right now to take advantage of this one.
Matthews back behind the net for Osseo. Osseo looking for somebody out front. Ooh, and chip just wide by Sophie Urban. And then tip back out to center. So Wayzata getting a pretty nice setup down low there to start the power play. Matthews to Wisniewski, and now Osseo. He's going to throw it around behind. And the Bears trying to chip it out. Didn't quite get it done, though. Urban for Matthews. It's off her skate. Just a little off. Now the race the other way, coming up shorthanded, Izzy Daniel. Daniel waiting for a little help, but killing time as it is, and she'll turn and dump it back in deep. Nice job by her.
Yeah, and the funny thing is she got down there and she was looking to attack. She was looking to see if there's an opening to the net, and she was going to make a run to it.
Osseo, her shot blocked there. Osseo trying to dig it back loose as Madeline Wethington got to it. Wethington will pick it up and can't get it out. Nice job to keep it in by Marshall. Now Wethington getting to it. Audrey Wethington trying to chip it out. Now it just turns and hammers it down the rink. Bears able to clear it here. Under a half minute to go in the power play for Wayzata. They got one decent opportunity early, but then since then haven't really been able to get things set up. Under a minute to play in this second period.
You can see how the Blake pressure has really made the Trojans nervous. I mean, they're not grabbing puck. They're just desperately stabbing at it to try and keep it away from the white jerseys.
Penalty is over. Blake back to 5 skaters now. Taken off the wall, but the Trojans unable to clear it out. Galianides coming away with it. Her pass knocked down. Bounces loose in the slot. Here's a shot and a goal. 2-0 Bears as they're able to convert on the opportunity in the high slot. It's going to be Izzy Daniel pumping it in for Blake, and they go up 2-0, and that's a backbreaker for the Trojans, especially this late in the period.
Comes across and just rips a quick one into the lower left corner. See her coming across here, gets her eyes up, takes a good look, and just too much.
Daniel will get her 24th goal of the season, so Blake now a 2-0 lead as we tick down toward the end of this second period. Urban banking it in.
Boy, that hurts last minute getting scored on like that. Boy, no coach, no team wants to see that. That just takes guts right out of you. They're going to have to regroup big time now in the locker room in between periods there.
Boy, and I was just thinking right before that, even though they were behind, that Wayzata was kind of in the position they're hoping to be in within one heading in the third, but not anymore. Daniel makes it 2-0. Our score through 2. The Bears 2 and the Trojans nothing. We'll be right back here to Parade Ice Garden.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And welcome back here to Parade Ice Garden along with Dan Ficken. I'm Jay Wilcox. Glad you could join us for Section 6 AA Girls Hockey. Blake, the second seed in the section, leading number 3 seed Wayzata 2-0. Both the goals coming in the second period after a scoreless first. You see the turnaround try there. Stephanie Garbus the stop. And then a bad giveaway leading to the goal here for Blake. Their first goal is Audrey Wethington, able to put that one away for the Bears. And then here's the play where Garbus gets injured. Player going to the net, colliding with the D, and she came out. So Grace Boswell-Healy had to take over, and she was tested certainly here too. Had a couple of tough stops there. You see the rebound, and they just got to it before the Bears could. Here's Wayzata getting one through from the point, but they really didn't have a lot of offense in that second period, certainly. And then here's a great shot by Izzy Daniel coming with just 17 seconds left in the period. A backbreaker there for Wayzata to make it 2-0. And you see the Bears heavy advantage in the shots and the chances. And Wayzata got a tough road ahead. They have not been able to generate much offense tonight. And it's not an insurmountable lead by any means, but they are going to need to have some things change for them to have a shot here in period number 3. Blake leading 2-0. The winner gets Edina in the section final Friday night. We'll be right back here to Parade Ice Garden.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
One period to go here at Parade Ice Garden as Wayzata trailing Blake by a 2-0 score here in our second semifinal in Section 6. As you get a look at how things have shaped up, really no upsets in that first round. The 4-5 game, as you would expect, was pretty darn close. Hopkins actually had a 2-0 lead before Cretin-Durham Hall rallied to beat him. And then Wayzata definitely had some difficulty. They badly outshot Benilde, but Benilde, good goaltending, and got some chances. I mean, that was a good battle, and obviously Blake and Edina combined 24-0 in that first round. And Edina looked pretty darn good in the game against Cretin-Durham Hall in the first semifinal tonight too, Dan. And whoever wins this one's gonna have their hands full. There's no doubt.
Well, it should be a fantastic game. I think the other thing we're thinking about too is that tie and Blake got from Wayzata in their head a little bit too.
Well, and I almost wonder to a certain extent if Coach Reed, isn't ultimately kind of glad that Wayzata did tie them during the season, to really have his players' attention for this one, to know that you got to play, and you always say that, you always preach that, but whether 14, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old girls and boys really get the message is sometimes another thing. But it looks like they have definitely come out and playing their style of hockey here tonight.
Well, he was generous in talking about his team too, and he says the one thing they've done very well is they've taken one game at a time. And he said that game that they played against Wayzata was legit at that time. Well, that was in November, so And he says since then they've met every game as a challenge. Really the only blip in the screen was the loss to Edina. But that came in, I think, at a good time too, before sections, 3-4 games before sections. So no, you can be beat.
Puck pops free in front, and I thought, it was refreshing to have, Coach Reed. A lot of times when you have a team that's as good as theirs is, and Wayzata tied them, and he said, Wayzata earned that tie that night. A lot of times you think, wow, we just didn't play well. It was because we didn't do anything, and you don't always want to give the other team credit. But he said, no, they were solid. They were with us. They made some big saves and everything too. But both coaches really helpful to us, and we appreciate that obviously too. Coaches that are willing to give you some insight on their team. I'm not expecting them to share trade secrets or anything, but here's a nice move to the front. Burton gives it up, and then the shot whistling wide from Audrey Wethington. Burton very unselfish there. So Boswell Healy in net here in the third, and it would appear that Garvis has left the arena. She is not on the Wayzata bench. I would guess they maybe have taken her to a hospital or urgent care type situation, maybe to be looked at. We're just speculating that, but she is not on their bench.
Well, anytime it's a head or back injury, or neck injury, which it could have been any of those actually, looking at the way she hit that goalpost.
You could have been thinking a little bit of a whiplash type thing too from the initial contact with the hip of the Blake player too, kind of knocked her head.
That was ugly.
Well, and certainly as we get a look at how that happened, and that as Daniel went to the net and Marshall really pushed her too, and Dan and I both agreed that good no penalty call there.
Very good,
because it was two players going for it, and you really couldn't penalize Daniel, I don't think, there, because she was pushed clearly into the goaltender too, and you just obviously you hate to see anybody get hurt. Here's Branton with it up the left side. Branton was tripped. Penalty coming here on the Bears. And so Wayzata will get their third power play of the night, and third in a row actually here, as getting the stick in there a little bit was Willoughby.
And that's the second penalty that Branton has brought along for the Trojans here, with a nice move, trying to come across and getting tripped up. Well, this is a big moment now. If the Trojans can work this and finally break the gate, so to speak, we'll have a game.
High off the end boards, and you really feel like they kind of need to go all out on this too.
Yep.
If it's still 1-0, you still kind of have caution in your mind a little bit, but they've got to throw the kitchen sink at them here and try and score on this power play, because they're not going to get a lot of chances 5-on-5 the way it looks. Here's a chance from the circle. And Kriesel will save, and there was some traffic there as well. And the Bears able to get it to center, and McClanahan able to lift a backhander on in. Wisniewski back to play it here for the Trojans, banking it ahead to Matthews, but it got away from her and just calmly cleared down the rink. Boswell Healy stops it for Wisniewski. And now Hackley carrying it for the Trojans. She'll dump it in and head off on a change. McCollins with it in the circle. Shot blocked, and Brandon puts it out front. Oh, and Kriesel a stop. And then the puck stops right on the blue line. It did not get out of the zone.
Good play by the D there, kind of throwing it back into the zone, not worried about getting it on net or blocked, getting it down deep.
Ooh, and another penalty coming as they hit Branton from behind the net.
Let her touch it, let her touch it, let her touch it.
There we get it, and we'll see what our call is probably going to be. A checking penalty against the Bears as Branton was knocked down. And it's going to be Madeline Wethington. Oh, check that. It's Chute who will go here. Right. No, not there. Right here. Yep.
The freshman Brandon again making a nuisance of herself and getting hit and drawing another penalty.
So a 5-on-3 for Wayzata. Here's a great chance for them. Back out. Ackley's shot blocked.
Wow.
Now Wisniewski playing it down deep for Branton. Branton trying to put it out front. The pass blocked. Branton then throws it to the other side of the goal. Matthews buries it. And it's 2-1.
Big time. And I still think there's time. Yeah. They're going to still be on the power play. But Brandon with a nice play took a shot, and then she looked across the crease and saw Matthew standing there, and the 8th grader buries it. And here we go. We got a 1-goal game.
12th goal of the season for Matthews, and as Dan pointed out, it came while the first penalty was still in effect, so now it'll still be a power play for Wayzata, and it's still nearly 1:40 of it. So that was, icing on the cake to not just get the goal, but get it before that first penalty had expired.
Yeah, the Trojans forgot that the Blake Bears are very aggressive on the penalty kill. Look at this.
Oh, and a huge collision between two Bears, and here's Osseo. 2-on-1. Osseo to the net. She scores! And we are tied up. Wow, what a turn of events. A Blake player basically checked her teammate off the puck, and it leads to a goal.
It might have been the sisters, the Wellington sisters, that hit each other. Audra's over there, and she's the one that got banged. She's bent over on the bench right now, but the sisters hit each other.
And it leads to a 2-on-1. They played for the pass, and Osseo tucking it under the pads or through the legs there of Kriesel. And wow, a 2 goals on the power play in a row here for the Trojans. Unbelievable turn of events. Osseo getting her 16th of the year.
Use the other winger as a great decoy. And then buries it 5-hole.
Ooh, and a chance there that goes just wide.
And McClanahan is wide open in the middle.
Oh, and a shot goes just up high and over the top. Blake wanting to answer. Branton and Urban get the assist on the Matthews goal, and we'll await word on Osseo's goal.
I think they were both power play goals.
Yep. Unassisted goal. And there's a shot that goes just wide, and Blake asking for a penalty there, but didn't get it. The Bears have turned it up a notch here. I think they were really pretty stunned to have this one tied up like that. Boy, this one's going to be a barn burner down the stretch here. It seemed like Blake was in control, but penalties can be a problem. Here's Madeline Withington, a shot, but blocked. Swanson got a stick on that.
Well, Jay, this is where championship teams answer. Who's going to step up to the plate here? Blake makes one mistake. Wayzata uses it to tie the game.
Yeah, I can't. There's a pass too far, and it's going to be an icing call. Hard to remember the last time you saw basically Blake, a player check her teammate. Obviously, that's not what she had in mind, and not even just her teammate, but her sister. And that really led to the rush. It was, you like to see players being aggressive, so you don't fault the effort or anything, but.
It's on that young lady's big shoulders right there. Her teammate's got it tied up. Now can she hold back the Bears? Because the Bears will come back with a vengeance.
I think Wayzata's got to be careful here too, because when 2 power play goals tie it up, that probably they're going to be looking closely at the other team. If Wayzata does anything to draw any officials' attention, they'll probably be quick to see the arm go up.
I just want to see that tie goal puts a little jump in their skates.
Urban putting one on net. Kriesel directs out of side. Osseo playing it to the corner. Boy, it just changed the whole feel of this game. Everybody up on the edge of their seats a lot more now. Not only just the 1 goal to pull within 1, but then they quickly tie it up. Oh, and here's a giveaway and a chance now for the Bears to take the lead. Oh, and a great recovery by Hackley. Now it's Wisniewski. She will toss it in and head off on a change. Bears flying a little more now here. After seeing the Trojans tie him up, Matthews pass taken by McClanahan. And then taken right back the other way by McCollins for Wayzata. Pass goes off a skate. And then McCollins up with it, down low to Branton. Trying to put it out front. Now it comes back to Branton and knocked aside by Kriesel. Swanson to it for Wayzata, looking down low to Branton. Got away from her though and played back around. Wethington couldn't get it out. Now McClanahan receiving that pass. Ilianides with her. McClanahan shooting, and Boswell Healy the save. And we'll hang on here and force a face-off.
Well, McClanahan with a nice play there. What I liked about it, she hit the goalie with the net, with the puck, because, you know, Ilianides was coming right down the slot there. If that puck would have been dropped, there would have been a good opportunity for a rebound goal.
Chipped into the Bears zone here. Kriesel is going to stop that and cover it up. You can see Wayzata, you know, kind of their spirits really raised by those goals, obviously, here. And they're playing with more confidence, more of an edge right now, I think, than they were.
Well, I'd like to see them now when they get across the red line is dump that puck in deep and push the defense of Blake deep and make them go the whole 185 feet.
Turnover forced here. Trying to throw it out front, but that one broken up. Hackley will knock it back down deep. And intercepted there. They throw it across the right side. Bailey Abraham will get to it and throw it in. She will head off on a change. Played back around. Hackley trying to get there. Being pressured though. Chloe Fallon getting it ahead, and they'll get it out of the zone, but then intercepted by Audrey Wethington, and she gets the return pass here. Puts one on net. Ooh, and that one surprised Boswell Healy. She really missed it with her stick, but had her pad along the ice. That one was a little shaky.
I think she was leaning right, and it came back left on her.
Yeah, she just kind of a good job by Wethington of disguising that shot. She didn't take a long time to wind up or anything. And they try to get a centering pass there. Wisniewski knocking that one aside. Now Urban back to pick it up for the Trojans. Wayzata has battled back to tie this one up 2-2 on a pair of power play goals in a row. About 30 seconds apart, 31 seconds apart. Now thrown to the front, and Osseo deflecting it over the top. Back into the Blake zone, but the Bears quickly come up and get it out. Madeline Wethington carrying it. Oh, they're offside. The Wethington's not quite on the timing there, and we...
Sisters might have some words with each other tonight when they get home, Jay, because...
Starting with, why did you check me on that previous one?
Now, the outside's probably farther down the list, but now Blake's got to be careful not to try too hard and then allow an odd man rush coming back on the Trojans, because they're primed to run one on him. So just play your game like you have been. It just happened on the power play, but 5-on-5, you've dominated. Play like you've been playing.
Ahead to McClanahan. And to throw it around the D and go get it herself. Matthews went over to cut it off. Ooh, and then they go tumbling, both of them. Branton up with it. Pass knocked away. And a long one there. That changed direction a little bit. Kriesel out for a look. Around to Izzy Daniel, but kept in by Osseo. Playing it deep for Branton. Branton banking it out for Swanson. Looking for a tip out front was Osseo. Played back down deep here. A little over 7 minutes to go here in the third. 2-2 tie. Long pass ahead now. Abraham trying to bring it to the front. Knocked out of there. Now Urban. Urban will dump it in.
There you go.
Osseo giving chase along with Madeline Wethington. Wethington able to spin out of there with the puck.
Both teams here kind of playing their game now. I like the dump and chase by the Trojans. They're better at it. And Blake's going to try and enter under control. They're not a very good dump team.
Flip back out to center, intercepted there and thrown right back to the Trojans line. Now played across to Marshall. Follow up here, Chloe Fallon trying to put it in front, but intercepted, and now a rush back the other way. Burton trying to get around Marshall. Burton to the front and collides with Boswell Healy, and that comes off. Face-off will be outside the zone as Burton tried to turn the corner. Didn't quite get it all the way done there.
Yeah, she's trying hard short side, coming in on the goalie. But the Wayzata goalie was having nothing to do with it. Boswell Healy here and just held the ground nice.
Trojans able to flip it back to center. Right up passing it across, and the Bears dump it in deep. Swanson back to get it for Wayzata. Branton trying to hold off the forechecker there and does. Now across from Matthews, but a little too far. Burton's pass, and it's offside as they couldn't quite control it at the line. And we'll get a draw outside the Wayzata blue line. 5:25 to go here in the third. Blake seemed to be in control, but took a couple of penalties, and Wayzata made him pay. Back-to-back power play goals, 31 seconds apart.
And Blake is off their game right now, Jay. They have not sustained anything inside the Trojan zone. They haven't been able to get in smooth or forecheck well as they were earlier on.
Near turnover there. I think part of it too, though, is it seems like Wayzata has just really played a lot stronger here in the third than they had the first
Absolutely.
two. Pass onto the stick of Urban. That one knocked down. Urban goes down. Wisniewski coming to help out. Plays it back to the point. Oh, and there's a wraparound try now on the rebound as Kriesel just got a piece of that first one. And now the net comes off. Hackley did a good job getting that puck through from the point, and Kriesel had some trouble with it. And then Urban wanted the wraparound, but couldn't quite get it there.
That's a good idea coming back up top on there.
Oh, that one could have easily been a penalty and should have been, and it is. Okay, they did spot it there. Megan Marshall going to be an interference. Yeah, she definitely threw a check. It could have been a check too, but the player for Blake tipped it and was going to head around her out of the zone, and that one was a no-doubter in my mind. Right.
You see it coming up right here. She just steps right into her. She didn't care about the puck. And in boys hockey, that's okay.
Yeah, I think that still would be an interference probably even in that, though, really, don't you think?
Well, no, she had the puck.
Yeah.
She had the puck. Or had just gotten rid of it. At least that's the way I would have argued it.
Here's a shot, and just wide from Maddie Wethington. Return pass, Madeline Wethington the shot, Boswell Healy the save, and then a battle out front. Here's where you really want to be disciplined if you're really both teams right now. You can't afford to get caught up in stuff in the front after the whistle and take a penalty. Either team.
But the Wayzata D kept them outside enough so that Healy Boswell could see the puck and made the save.
Bears win the draw again. Back to Madeline Wethington. Swings it across. Here's a shot. Ooh, and that one deflecting just wide. Couple players collide there. Both go down. Bears trying to answer with a power play goal of their own. Oh, and Boswell Healy the save there as Burton circled out and went to the net. Even though the defenseman got a piece of the pass, it still resulted in a very good attempt there as they couldn't clear it. Burton was waiting and just quick release.
kind of like a golf ball sitting up on a tee all of a sudden, and Burton just jumped all over it, but...
Off the draw, there's a goal. Delianitas will bury it. Boy, a set play off the face-off. And Blake goes back in front on a heck of a setup there. Lily Delianitas after the draw win, and all she had to do is tap it in.
Big mistake on the D, letting that player get in on Boswell Healy. That open. Just slipped right through. Got in tight, and the puck was there, and she buried it. Sophomores had a really good year this year. She came in here as the third leading scorer, third leading scorer on the team.
So Blake goes back in front with a power play goal. 3-2 Bears. So Daniel getting the assist with that beautiful face-off win. Delianitas the goal. And knocked loose. Branton then playing it back for Wisniewski. Wayzata with pressure. Here's Osseo, but that shot deflected up into the rafters. Boy, a turnover there for Blake, and Osseo was in prime shooting position, but the defenseman able to get a stick on this one. Boy, I was thinking this one's going to be a tough chance, but good recovery defensively. That's a pretty close-in shooting range there, and Kriesel was going to be tested if that one had not been tipped.
Well, the important thing, though, is that there's been some good forechecking, and it created an opportunity for the Trojans. I mean, they're not out of this thing yet.
Boy, the twists and turns in this one. The first two periods,
yep.
Wayzata was hanging in. They were down 1-0, but then a goal in the last 30 seconds of the second period put Blake up 2-0, and it kind of felt like, well, this is their game to walk away with. But then a couple penalties, couple goals for Wayzata on the power play, and it was 2-2. But now the Bears getting a power play goal pretty late in the contest of their own. This one tipped and goes wide. Blake able to come up with it here. McClanahan stick handling. We'll keep our eye on Boswell Healy here. Still a little over 2 minutes to go, but I don't think they want to wait, too terribly deep into the game if they're able to gain control and, get it in. Oh, long one there that handcuffed her. Of course, first you've got to get the puck, into Blake's zone. Here's Branton carrying it and chopped away from her. Minute 50 to go and played right back out. Bears come up with it again. Now McClanahan putting it out front, and that one swept aside. Schindler getting there for Wayzata. The pass a little bit behind Osseo, but she comes back to get it. They're waving Boswell Healy to the bench. She kind of was caught in between, and then the Bears take a shot at the empty net and miss it, and it ends up being an icing. Boswell Healy was waved over, and then she saw Blake get the puck, and she almost said, oh no, what do I do here? And at that point, they said, you're committed, you better come. Not get an extra, or not get too many players on the ice penalty, for one thing.
For some reason, it tends to turn into be a rather difficult maneuver sometimes, getting your goalie off the ice for a sixth attacker. So it's the traditional timeout time of hockey, and it's good that there's only one. It'd be like basketball, but now obviously a play is being set up by Wayzata. They got the face-off inside the zone, and they're going to want to set up a play and get a shooter in there that they know can hit the net pretty good. Oseo's had a pretty good game as far as firing the puck today too. I think that might be one to go to.
Well, this third period's been eventful. Wayzata getting on the board there on the pass across to Matthews. The power play goal made it 2-1. And then look at that. Two Wethingtons basically check each other out of play. It leads to a 2-on-1 or maybe even a 3-on-1. And Osseo putting it away. That was 31 seconds after the previous one. But then Daniel, a face-off win
And Delianeta is able to tap it in. You know, if there are any smart Alex on the Wayzata side right now, they might be saying, Coach, you know, we really ought to do what Blake did on there, face off.
Yeah.
We'll just do that.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, that's a heck of a nice looking play. I like that.
Sometimes I mean, obviously it's not going to work that often, but sometimes the shortest path to the net, you maybe get caught up in trying to do too many things. If you can win a draw clean, you might be able to, you know, to put pressure on initially.
Absolutely. But now it's, you know, it's a bit of a pick play. If you notice on the inside of the circle, you got 3 people there that try to draw one back and over like Brandon.
Trojans do control the draw.
Yep.
They've got the extra attacker on, empty net. Minute 15 to go. And it's cleared out. Will it hit the net? Yes, it will. Bears 4-2. It's a gamble to shoot when you're at risk of icing the puck, but if you can hit the net, the payoff is a big one, and that's exactly what happens as Matty Tix is on target with this one from very long distance.
And that is the nail in the proverbial coffin, though. Tremendous effort by Wayzata, though. They just were resilient, fought back, got themselves back in this game, and made it a contest right down here to the last minute and 11 seconds. Now watch, I might get my mouth washed out here because all of a sudden they'll jump up and get one.
Unassisted goal, empty netter. We've got a penalty coming up here. Going to be a hooking call against the Bears, so maybe
Willoughby,
don't head for the exits just yet. Yeah, Kira Willoughby will pick up the penalty, and it comes right.
Oh my gosh,
there.
yes. That stick was right up underneath the arms and stuff coming up.
So Wayzata will be on a power play, and then also an extra attacker again for Boswell Healy. So 6-on-4 really for them. Back out to the point. High shot into traffic. Bears gain control. Here's the advantage for Blake, if there is any right now, though, is that you can shoot at this empty net without it being an icing. So it's now McClanahan trying to put it out front. 35 seconds to go. A long one there thrown on net. Kriesel directs that one aside. Under a half minute remaining. And it comes back out to center. So Wayzata, any last opportunity might have gone by the wayside there. Obviously it's still down 2 anyway. Not like they were likely, but here's Osseo playing it ahead to Urban. Now they get a little 2-on-1. Matthews going to the net. Oh, and behind Branton on that one. Branton up with it, puts it to the front, and Kriesel has to make one last big save, and the puck loose, and the buzzer will sound to end this one. Heck of a hockey game here tonight. Yeah, boy, we saw a lot more fireworks late in the game than it looked like maybe it was going to be, in a very eventful third period. Wayzata coming up with 2 power play goals in just over a half minute to tie it at 2.
Yep.
Then about 10 minutes later, Blake gets a power play goal, and then they add the empty netter, and they had a scare put into them, certainly,
definitely,
by Wayzata down the stretch.
Well, the thing they learned is you make a mistake. First of all, you get 2 people in the penalty box. That was the first mistake. Second one, then the sisters colliding in a check situation that you're not supposed to check your other teammate, but it almost cost them. But they came back. They were resilient. They found a play, got the puck in the net, and then they got the empty netter. And to be honest with you, they were the better team tonight. There's no, for the majority of this game, they were the better team. But Wayzata fought back and did a good job and never gave up. And when they got their opportunity, they took advantage, and good for them.
Yeah, overall, pretty strong season for Wayzata. They came a long way from last year to this, and they've got a lot of young talent. So the Trojans, I'm sure disappointed right now, but they played a solid game here, and you got to remember too that they are in one of the toughest sections in the state to try and get through here as well. So congratulations to the Trojans on a good season. Also congratulations to the Bears, and best of luck as they face Edina in the section championship on Friday night. That will do it for tonight's telecast and for our girls hockey broadcast for the year. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Again, your final score here in the 6AA semifinals: Blake 4, Wayzata 2.